Hey guys, I just went on to, the events page and I just noticed that this had popped up for G-Helot, so I figured we could run this through together. Um, Till the snow melts, rerun. The ice and snow of Elworth never melt, just like her hatred. When the hands of the future and the past clasp together, the warrior shall raise her blade and charge towards fate and vengeance. When she faces the black tides, you are her banner. Which is awkward because I don't think she can hold any blades currently, which is just a real shame. Snowfield Stranger. Heavy snow buries the silent breath of the mountains, and the fates each returning soul pursues. In the perpetually frozen Elworth, a warrior raises her sword, and what she fights for is the first spring of her life. Snowfield Stranger. Elworth doesn't seem to welcome your polite visit. We're going to investigate it. Investigate the snowy fields of Elworth together. A month after the removable event. This is Elworth? That's right. Welcome home, Lot. The mountain you want to reach, the person you want to see, they're all here. Herbert extends his hand, pointing towards the snow-covered mountains ahead. You sure she will appear? Just as surely as you appeared here, it is the summon of fate. No one can refuse fate. Now can they? Hearing this, the maiden grinned, revealing two sharp fangs. That's right. No one can refuse fate. Then our deal? Deal. You and that crazy lantern woman brought me here. So, I'll lend you a hand while I'm at it. I think there's something I should remind you about. Your state isn't very stable right now. Getting close to this mountain might cause uncontrollable situations. Whatever you want to do, just do it. Don't get in my way. The mountain's presence, her presence, I can feel them all. I will kill them and devour them. The maiden licked her lips, a beast-like grin spreading across her fierce face. 40 miles out. Coarse snowflakes fell, piling on the girl's head, dyeing her hair a mottled white. You reached out and gently brushed them away. Are you really not cold? Lily hesitated for a moment, hid her reddened hands behind her back, and obediently shook her head. Awakeners won't freeze to death. I'm sorry, Lily. This mission is special. Thank you for coming with me to a place like this. It's okay. Lily was born here. Lily wants to help, brother. You sighed, patted her upturned little head, stood up and gazed out at the vast white world ahead. The raging snow and wind swept across the sky, falling upon the faintly undulating mountains at the edge of the polar glaciers, falling upon the place you were heading. 1 week earlier. Earthquakes, avalanches, volcanic bursts, and dissolution beyond the eye's reach. This world really never takes a break. Can't even find time to enjoy a drink in peace. Professor Dexter. Flames danced in the fireplace. The finely dressed middle-aged man sat down, the newspaper in his hand, and waved you over. Ah, there you are. You're here. Please, have a seat. Professor, I heard you had something urgent for me. That's right. Absolutely urgent. After the charity fund took over the Rye Sanatorium, the follow-up work has been handled fairly well. One patient's family runs a winery. To express their gratitude, they sent over 2 bottles of fine homemade wine. Too, it's far too dreary to enjoy them alone. What do you say? Care to try it? Looking at the wine glass he offered you, you let out a helpless sigh. Professor, I've been very busy lately. If there's nothing else, I'll be on my way. A life without knowing how to enjoy oneself is a life without pleasure. Ah, there's one other matter. Trivial compared to wine tasting, perhaps, but I think it might interest you. What? That one friend who sent the wine told me that one patient has been showing abnormalities. Her moans and howls resonate through the asylum day and night, and her ever-deteriorating mental state and con have left the doctors at a complete loss. That does sound terrible, but I really have no expertise in the field of psychiatric disorders. It's not about the medical field. Perhaps you haven't forgotten that one young awakener lady is linked to a patient at the Francis Asylum. Screeching monster. Give her to me. Pathetic. Just losing a silver link reduces you to this. Francis is linked to Lily, so Helot's linker is... Dahl once mentioned in her Awakener's Crafting and Link Fundamentals course that setting aside the side effects of being unable to command and control them, the ideal link subjects for Awakeners are the patients of this very sanatorium. The sanatorium's patients. Because their minds are unstable, they're not afraid of losing control. Helen stands alone at the dock, her long hair dancing in the wind. Ship's leaving. You boarding? Helen waves, signaling the ferry to leave without her. She hasn't decided on her next stop. Helen. She's disappeared after leaving the sanatorium. Has something happened? Look at this. A newspaper, still smelling of fresh ink, was pushed in front of you. A massive avalanche struck the polar snow-filled Ellsworth U. It has been measured as the largest on record. Cause unknown. Ellsworth. Under the influence of the Awakener G-Helot, the asylum patient has been crying out the name of the alpine snowfield where an avalanche recently occurred. Ellsworth. And then there are those visions you saw in your dream. Quite memorable, weren't they? The visions from the dream, Lot's whereabouts, and this anomalous avalanche, they all point there. Symbols of the Church of the Light Bearers appeared in the dream. What they are going to do might be related to Lot. Exactly. There are always those in this world who have no sense of tact and love nothing more than disturbing other people's lives. We're gonna find Helen. Understood. Time is of the essence. I'll prepare to depart for Ellsworth at once. That's not what I meant. Hey. I really don't understand why everyone's always in such a rush. At the very least, finish the drink. The drink before him was downed in one gulp. Holding the empty glass, he gently waved it toward the gate. May the silver key light your path, keeper. Keeper, how are things looking? We've arrived at Ellsworth Icefield. Situation is stable. As you suspected, Lily can vaguely sense the fluctuations of the same origin strength and find the right direction. Has anything unusual happened during the journey? No abnormalities, just navigating through the seas filled with broken ice, praying daily that the roaring winds don't capsize the ship. Unsure why both the Church of the Light Bearers and Helot have their eyes on this place. However, locals nearby don't seem too welcoming of our arrival. They keep shouting incoherent things about mountain gods, monsters, and the like. There's something I need to inform you about. The approval for this trip was extremely rushed, and there wasn't enough time to conduct a detailed preliminary investigation beforehand. I've been in the archives these past few days and found a document about Elworth. It mentions that above. You were talking with Dahl when you noticed Lily walking up to a hole. Lily, be careful. Don't fall in. Lily walked a few steps toward the distance and crouched down curiously. There's a sound. You stepped closer. The seawater was being churned by something unknown, emitting a muffled rumble through the translucent layer of ice. A blurry, dark figure suddenly appeared beneath the ice, growing larger at an alarming speed. Danger! You swiftly pulled the maiden back from the edge of the abyss. The ice shattered beneath her feet as several polar creatures, grotesquely oversized, burst through the ice layer, writhing their disproportionate bodies as they clambered out. Eerie black pustules oozed from beneath their fur, something churning inside them, emanating the stench of decay. Hoarse, piercing shrieks rang out. The monsters stared at you with eyes corroded by pustules, brimming with primal hostility. Mutations caused by dissolution. Lily, watch out. The silver key in hand emitted a gentle glow. A black sphere blocked in front of Lily, crushing the monsters of unknown origin. Dodging the monsters' desperate attack and their final moments, you exhaled a heavy breath. All enemies eliminated. Dahl, what were those unknown monsters? I only just found out, after pulling up the archives. Mithag once dispatched a team of scientists and investigators to conduct a secret expedition to Elworth. They also encountered and documented these mutated creatures. In the records sent back by the expedition, was there any mention of the mountain god? I keep suspecting this has something to do with Helot. Unfortunately, the secret expedition's archives are as clean as certain people's brains. They didn't manage to produce any findings. I have some questions I'd like to ask them. Can I speak with them directly? The other end of the line fell silent for a moment. If those investigators' mental strength had been enough to leave behind a silver core, perhaps you could awaken them right now to answer that question. But sadly, those fragile folks left nothing behind. They were just devoured by Elworth. With snow and wind this fierce, perhaps they met with an accident and were buried here. Either way, the danger of Elworth has exceeded our predetermined standards. The expedition's demise on the snow mountain was sealed away as a top secret file for a long time. Not only Professor Dexter, I too am only learning of this now. This was an oversight by the school. Regardless of whether you choose to continue this mission, the Academy will compensate you properly. I'm just worried about her. Given the circumstances, out of concern for your safety, the school urgently contacted a professional, Professor Elvis, a researcher from Mithag University. He's currently with an external expedition team conducting a scientific study in Elworth. The peak they're preparing to survey also matches the one Lily indicated, which will be great help in finding Helot.
Those team members have extensive EXP and supply. Traveling with them will greatly improve your chances of survival, and having you and Lily join them as combat assets would be a good thing for them as well. You knew I wouldn't choose to give up? It's not the first time. I won't try to change your mind, but Mythag can't afford to lose its keeper. Take care of yourself, and come back alive.
That's crazy. That's a lot of information for just for that brief little, like, intro. And it looks like the next one is also just like a another like reading and lore segment, which is kind of crazy. So I'll tackle that in the next next video probably.